All right, everyone, welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. First time I'm hosting one of these live streams. I'm joined by Jordan. First time me and Jordan have collabed on the Toffee Blues as well. It feels great, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah. No, we've done one on your channel before, haven't we? But not a Everton-related one. So, yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, and we're just basically going to be chatting about a couple of topics today. We've got Bernard, Tosun, obviously, there's been a bit of news as well. So we've got a bit to talk about. We're going to start off. I'm just waiting until we get a couple more viewers in. We don't want anyone to miss anything.
Sorry about the lateness, that was me.
Yeah, guys, sorry. Obviously, we were meant to start at 6:30. We had a bit of technical issues, but we're all right now. I think we're all up. We're just waiting. We've got a couple of people who've joined so far. Got a couple of good comments as well. Bernard, Tosun, that's going to be mainly the the main talking points of today. And obviously get your questions down in the chat. We'll try and talk about them as we go along. Hello to Jake as well. Jake Blower in the chat. Good to see him in the chat.
He's a friend of mine I talk about movies with. He's just started his own YouTube channel and stuff. So hello, Jake.
Yeah. Thanks to Jake. We know he's not an Evertonian, but he's come along to support us, which is really good. And yeah, we'll start with Bernard, mate. So obviously Bernard's been linked with a move away a couple of times this window. Not materialized, anything concrete so far, but just want to know what you think we should do with him. Like, are you definitive keep or sell?
It's a hard one, Bernard, isn't it? Because I know he's a good player technically when he wants to be, and he's just not very consistent at all. He's one of the most inconsistent players in the squad. I always remember the Newcastle game where we were 2-0 up, and obviously it ended up 2-2. They scored 2 in the last minute or something. But I remember Bernard getting clapped off the pitch that game because he was that good. I think he went off injured and he was walking around Goodison. Everyone was clapping him because he had that good of a game. So he's definitely got it, but he just doesn't show it enough for me. And the way I see it, we got him for nothing. He's on 120 grand a week. If we got, is it 8 million or something we're getting? Is that the price that's getting spread about? Would that be the end of the world for the player who hardly plays?
Between 8 and 10, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad if you get him.
I've always been like a fan of him.
You what, sorry? You're a fan of him?
I've always been a fan of Bernard myself. Yeah, I am a fan of him, and obviously I know he's not the most consistent player, and I think it's a good time to sell him. I think we should sell him, but I think he's had a decent Everton career, and I might get shot down for that. But I think he's had a couple of real standout games. There's been times where I've walked out the stadium going, he was the best player on the pitch today. Interesting comment there, Suburbio Numero Uno, who's left a comment saying that obviously he's been linked with Al Nassr. I don't want to get the country wrong, what they're from, but I really don't think he'd want to. If he's got any sort of, if he wants to be competitive, Roma's got to be the place for him to go, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's still got a lot of left in his career. He's not like 32 or nothing, is he? I think is he only about 28 or something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
I think he'll go to Roma. They've been heavily linked with him, haven't they? But I would personally sell him this window if we get the opportunity, because you're making money on a player who's 120 grand a week sitting on the bench half the time. But I wanted to bring something up about Bernard if we did let him go. Now, there mightn't be players coming in because it's a January window, but I'm just thinking, with this makeshift back four we've got, would Carlo put Luca Dean on the left wing a bit more now, like he did against Wolves? And that's his thinking, because, correct me if I'm wrong here, Steve, but with that back four, I'm not sure we've lost the game. I know we lost against West Ham, but wasn't Coleman right back that game?
I can't remember, mate. It was a while ago. I sort of try and just move the losses out of my mind, if I'm being honest. Yeah. But that's a good point. I was talking to the Blue Boys Network last night, and we did a live stream with a load of people in it, and we were talking about the fact that maybe a winger shouldn't be our main priority, because not only is Luca Dean had a fantastic game there against Wolves, but Nkunku as well. People saying that I can't remember which of the guys said it in the live stream, said that he expects him to go full Gareth Bale and go left back to striker or something like that, because he's that powerful and he's that good on the ball. So, I think with that back four, I just don't think he's got a place really, Jordan, to be honest.
Yeah. Ideally, I want Luca Dean left back, but at the moment, in this moment in time, that is working wonders for us, that back four. Godfrey is slotted right in there. So, I don't know, maybe he might just do it for the rest of the season if Bernard does go, and you'll bring another winger in the summer or something. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but that could be an option if Bernard goes, to move Luca Dean to the left.
I don't think it's not like a we want to get rid of him sort of thing. I think we'll just sit with him until the end. If there's not an offer we don't like, we'll sit with him till the end of the season, I think. Because it's not like he's not playing any football. It's not like a Ross Barkley situation a few seasons ago where he sat in the reserves sulking and we just want to get him out quickly. He has played a couple of games and he scored a couple of goals. So I think if Marcel Brands doesn't see an offer that we like, we won't take it. So I think it's got to be a good decision for both of us. And obviously, Erwin Koeman there mentioned that he's on really, really high. Well, not really high, but one of the highest paid players at the club. So it'd be good. To get him out. I think it's sort of, there's a couple of people saying that they'd like to keep him, but is he really the future? No, let's be honest.
Probably not. Ideally, I'd like a winger who sort of is more direct, like Richarlison a little bit, runs at players and stuff. And I don't know, maybe the league isn't right for him. It's a very physical league, and I'm not saying like smaller heightened players can't make it, but I don't know. Sometimes he's just not in the game at all, and it's a flip of a coin.
You can see him doing well in Italy, can't you? Yeah. You can see him
slower there, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see him having more joy in Italy because there's players like him, like Lorenzo Insigne. He's like smaller than him, I think, and he's one of the best players in the league, isn't he? So, I think if he wants to play, I think he's good enough to play first team football for Roma, if that makes sense. Because in that league, I think he'll tear it up, and I think he's a good player. And I'm just grateful that it's not like, oh, we want to get rid of him immediately, because we've got a bit of time to sit with him, and you know what I mean, and find the best deal for us and him. What do you make of that link to Dubai, Al Nassr? Do you think he will be interested in that?
Money talks, mate. So I imagine he'd be on very high wages over there. I mean, I know it's a different league, but didn't the Chelsea player, the midfielder, go at the age of 26 or something? I forgot his name. Is it the Brazilian? He went to not that league, but a different one. It was China, I think, but he was paid loads of money. So money talks. So I wouldn't put it past him. Hello, you there, Steve?
Yeah, and obviously, mentioning there about Neil Nkunku, future at Everton, and I can see where people are coming from. The fact that maybe he's not a left back, because he's really good going forward, and you'd expect that Ancelotti and Brands will have a replacement lined up if we do get rid of him. Sorry. Yeah. So you expect that people would have an
You there, Steve? Sorry, the screen just crashing.
Can you hear me there, Jord?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, we were just I don't know. We got like a bit of a weird thing. Anyway,
sorry about
we're
that.
back up and running again. Sorry. No worries. I'll ask the same question again. Nkunku, is he gonna be? Do you think he's got a bigger role at the club than we've been led on?
I don't know, mate. I've only seen about played 5 games of him. So if you want me to base my opinion on that, I still think he's probably going to be a left back, but who knows? I really can't answer that question. I'm basing the fact off 5 games I've seen him play, and yeah, he is very, very good on the ball. Yeah, he might be a makeshift left winger and then grow into the role. But I'd only be guessing at that. Predominantly, he's probably a left back, and one that we probably would like to, get better in that position, because we haven't got a backup at the minute, really. I mean, we've got Ben Godfrey, but ideally as an actual left back, I'd like to see him progress in that position if possible.
And Jake there in the chat, Bernard would thrive in Spain is a really good point. I think I'm surprised no teams from Spain have come in with him. Are you?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, he'd probably about to be a good league for him. I do think he'd be better off in Italy, but saying that, Spain has got a lot of skillful players, and Bernard's main trait is probably his skill. So I could see him doing well there. Look, he might come into the squad in 2 games' time and just put all this to bed and start playing every week, for all we know. I do doubt it, but you don't know, do you? But at this moment in time, I would try and get some money for him, in my opinion. And Spain or Italy, maybe he could do the job there.
Yeah, and obviously not the only player that's been linked with a move away. Cenk Tosun as well.
Yeah,
Tosun, I think everyone's pretty much in agreement that we need get rid of Tosun as quick as we can.
Yeah, just not happening for him, is it? I mean, the last of the famous Stephen Walsh signings, I think. Yeah, the other day, Carlo Ancelotti didn't play. Like, he scored against Rotherham in his first start in a while, and everyone was like worried that he was going to start against Wolves. And I was sort of ready to give him a chance because it was his first start in a while, and he scored in that first start. However, he did not play against Wolves. He didn't even come on, and maybe that was down to tiredness against Rotherham. But at the end of the day, he's played less games than anyone. So maybe you think he would have played that game. And Carlo Ancelotti said it's for different reasons that they're not playing, whatever that means. I don't know, but it's worrying if he goes and we don't get another striker in, especially with Ellis Sims going on loan today as well. I think we need another striker. You can't just bank on Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin for the more than half a season's games that we've got left.
And obviously there you mentioned that Tosun obviously did not play against Wolves, and you would have expected him to if he was in Ancelotti's plans, wouldn't you? And I don't think you can really, like you mentioned there, maybe Terry Nash with a good comment there. I would rather Michael Keane up top than Cenk Tosun. He scores more goals than him, Terry, so that's a pretty good comment. And obviously, he played 1 game all season. I think playing 1 game and then going, I know he plays 120. I think he plays 120 minutes.
Yeah, that's maybe the.
I'm sure there's players in that team who plays against Wolves again. So it's clear in football when a manager doesn't like a player, and it's obvious between Cenk and Ancelotti. It's obvious that he doesn't like him. Being linked with a couple of moves away. How much do you think we should be looking to get for him? Because it's a weird one. Because he's not as good as Bernard, but you can argue that a team might pay 10 million for him.
Ideally, you want at least 20 back because that's what we pay for him, but you're not going to get that.
No.
Look, mate, I don't know. I think there is a place for Tosun in a different side, maybe like West Brom. I'm not just saying that because Sam Allardyce is there, but maybe a team like that could benefit from Tosun, the way they play and stuff. And I just don't think it's going to work out for him here, I'm afraid. And I don't know. I would snap someone's hand off probably at 8 million, to be honest. Yeah. I think 5. I would. Something's a bit too low, like.
Yeah, because I remember when he came in, and he was an Allardyce signing, wasn't he? I remember he came in, and for that first 6 months, he was really good. I thought he was like the answer to our problems. I remember, I think it was against Crystal Palace. I think he scored on his debut. I'm not sure. Fact check that one. I think he might have scored on his debut again. Yeah, I remember him scoring a good goal. I'm sure it was against Palace or something like that. And he looked like a decent player. And he's unfortunately going to go down in that sort of that long list of forgotten Everton players, isn't he? Really? Do you know what I mean?
It looks that way, mate. Unless he stays beyond this window and gets his act together and does start scoring, I can't see any other way of remembering Cenk Tosun as a forgotten player, and that's about it. It's a shame, really, because he did start well. He did. It took him a few games, but I remember he scored 2 against Huddersfield, I think, when we won away 2-1. But it's just not to be, is it? I mean, he's not the only one who's been dropped by or not played by a manager. I think Marco Silva dropped him in the end. So maybe it's just. I know all these there's a lot of Turkish fans who rate him highly, and that's fine. He always seems to score for Turkey, but it just hasn't worked out for him at Everton at the minute. Well, up to now, has it? And I really can't see it either. But I've had my doubts about other players, and they've proved me wrong. So who knows?
I don't know, because I don't know if I think 50% of football is in the attitude, isn't it? And, you look at like a player like, you compare him to our striker, Calvert-Lewin, and a lot of people wrote Calvert-Lewin off a while ago. And I think the attitude of him was, I'm going to prove that I'm better than any striker that Everton could bring in. And it's paying off because he's been dead good this season. Jake Blower there saying maybe Iwobi would fit up. Jake, to be honest with you, mate, Iwobi seems to be able to play anywhere. So, and obviously scored a really good goal against Wolves. So I think Iwobi can score goals if we get him into the right state of mind and stuff like that. But Tosun's been linked with a couple of moves away now. I think we might finally get rid of him in this window. I hope so, because it's really, really frustrating to see a player sitting there on loads of money at Everton not playing football matches. Enner Valencia better than Cenk Tosun. Yeah, to be honest, I'd agree with that. Would you?
Wow. Yeah. Probably.
Remember he came, do you know what? I was a massive Enner Valencia fan when he had that. I think it was 6 months on loan. Remember that when he was running from the police to get where was he from? Was he Ecuador?
Yeah, I think so.
And I remember he come in, and I'm surprised we didn't sign him after that. It would have been typical Steve Walsh to sign him after that, wouldn't it?
I mean, he was a better backup than Cenk Tosun, I think.
Yeah.
I fancy bringing him on off the bench instead of Cenk Tosun, but gladly we've moved on as a football club a bit now, I think. I don't think we'll sign them type of players anytime soon. Hopefully, anyway.
Yeah, and there's a lot of you'll just fall into that category of Everton players that are just completely forgotten. He's not like we've got a couple of players who've come and never not played. He won't be that bad, but he'll be like in the oh my god, remember him? You know what I mean? In 10 years, we'll be going, remember Cenk Tosun? God, he never played him, did he? Every man, we had about 4 managers and none of them were playing. But hopefully we get. I think this window mainly is going to be about us shifting players out. And obviously, guys, make sure you're leaving your comments down in the comment section. We'll read them out as well. We'll read them out on the live stream. Answer some of your questions as well. Ellis Sims is another one. Come out this morning, just really quickly, mate, didn't it? That he's gone out on loan to Blackpool. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just didn't see that one coming. All the ITKs didn't see that one coming, did they?
Yeah, but, I'm fine. I'm made up that the discussion's finally over. Like, would you loan him out or would you start him?
Well, I think that's what he needed. Didn't he? He needed a loan.
Yeah.
Ideally a championship club maybe. But then again, maybe he's not even ready for that. I mean, I didn't watch the reserve game the other week, but a lot of people were watching it saying he's nowhere near ready, even though he scored. So then I'm just going off what people were saying. I didn't watch it myself. However, I hope it works out for him. League One, on the other hand, instead of the Championship, might be the perfect fit for him at this moment in time. You know, you can't just expect the world. For some players, take longer to mature. Look at Wayne Rooney, all right, 16, he was ready. Dominic Calvert-Lewin took until 22, 23. So some players just need that extra bit of time. So I hope it works out. I hope he scores plenty of goals for Blackpool, and I hope it works out to be a good move for him. I do think that even if he scores a load, it might take another loan to a club a bit higher, maybe in the Championship or something, to really, get him going and get his career on the go. But yeah, a good move.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's good as well because obviously, people being like, would you loan him out? I would 100% loan him out because I don't see he's a goal machine for the youth team. Yeah, obviously he is, but it's completely different kettle of fish. And I'm made up to see him going out, getting some experience. And finally, I'll be able to watch him playing first team football, which is just great. It'd be good to see him. And he's had to, and you've got to remember, guys, he hasn't made an appearance for us yet, I don't think. Been on the bench a couple of times, and Ancelotti seems to favour him. As he's featured him on the bench quite a lot. I think, and on the live stream again last night, we were talking about Rose, who's a really good Everton YouTuber who you should go check out, made a point that she thinks Anthony Gordon should be loaned out this month as well. What do you think of that?
Well, that brings me back to Bernard, really. It depends if we sell Bernard, because I know what they'd say, Luca D might make the left wing there if Godfrey's going to be left back, but you still want, I would like to see Anthony Gordon maybe just in case there, and maybe next season might be this time for him to loan. But it depends if we sell Bernard. If we keep Bernard, then I'll probably be happy to see him go on loan.
Yeah. And obviously, guys, make sure, as well as leaving your comments, that you're liking the video and that you're subscribing to the channel as well. It's completely free. Why would you not do it? If you want to keep up with it, some more. We'll hopefully be doing some more live streams in the future as well, and we'll be talking a bit more about some more stuff that's going to come out, because I don't think we're finished with January quite yet. Good one here. One story, snap their hand off at that price. What do you think of that one? Because I haven't had a chance to get your opinion on that, Joe. It's been floating around for about a week now. Joshua Zirkzee.
Yeah. Apparently it was done, wasn't it? TalkSport said a done deal and all that. But it's still not happened.
Because obviously there's been like Palmer coming in and stuff like that, and there's been people talking about, does he want to play first team football, all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, honestly, mate, I'm not too clued up on the player at all. I just know that, didn't we have him at one point or something and let him go?
I think he played like a game on he'll fall if he doesn't sign for us and he goes on to sign for like Man United or something and becomes a great player. He'll fall within like the Eric Dyer sort of category of Everton players that must have played about half an hour for us in a friendly or something, because I think he was on trial or something. I'm not sure.
At the end of the day, he's got age on his side. If Marcel Brand and Ancelotti do fancy him, we get rid of Tosun, he has got time on his side, and maybe he can come on off the bench. Wouldn't be too disgruntled at coming on for 20 minutes here and there, 30 minutes here and there. When the likes of Tosun doesn't even come on at all. So maybe if they fancy something in him, they can work with him and bring him on, because Ancelotti has brought on some players for us this season. They haven't half improved some of them that I have my doubts about, some of them as well. But if they think they can work with him, I'll be happy to get him, because like I said, age is on the side.
Yeah, and it feels to me a little bit like Moise Keane version 2, because I think obviously Keane didn't really work out as we all hoped. I think they're going to try and keep getting these young players in, just in the hope that one of them comes off, because European football can be quite overhyped. A player like Moise Keane, who was pretty rubbish in the Premier League for us, has gone to the French League, done really well so far, and it looks like we could get like 40, 50 million for him in the summer. So it seems like a money-making scheme, like to some extent, because it feels a bit like a bit of a no-lose situation because we signed Keane for, I think it was like 20, 25 million, something like that, with no buyback clause and no sort. I remember there was a big thing about the no buyback clause thing. If we sell him on for 50 million because he's banging goals in the French league, we're immediately making money for and spending other players, and it feels a bit like that. We're going to go for Xerxes. We're going to loan him, and I do think it probably will happen. I think going to loan him, and then maybe with an option to buy. Going to see how it works, and I really hope this one comes off though.
Yeah, the thing is, you got to remember if we're getting a striker, we only play one striker, and it's Calvert-Lewin, and no one is budging him at the minute, not unless you go and sign some absolute superstar. But even then, I'd like just be happy to carry on with Calvert-Lewin at the minute the way he's playing.
So would I, mate. Yeah.
So you got to take that into account, mate, and maybe a young striker who's up for being a backup for a bit and coming on here and there is the right way to go. Instead of going to spend 30 million or something on a striker and you're fighting over who's going to play him or Calvert-Lewin, what's the point in that? It's just going to upset the player who's come here. It's kind of like Ings getting linked to Tottenham now. Why would Danny Ings go there to be backup to Harry Kane? Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. So it's the same sort of situation with us, I feel.
Mm-hmm. And I do agree with that comment there from James Gray. James, thanks for joining the stream. Defo needs a striker. Do you have any names that you'd like us to go for, Jord? Or just money not being an object. No sort of stumbling blocks. Have you seen any players you think, I'd love him at Everton? Something like that.
I'm sort of on the spot there because I'm not good at thinking things on the spot. But like I said, mate, I'm really, really happy with Calvert-Lewin at the minute. I really am. Yeah. I want him to be the main striker. I want him to take us forward because he's got everything a number 9 should have. He knows where the net is, so I'm happy with that. But I would be more. I love
how much he contributes all over the pitch. That's the thing for me with Calvert-Lewin. He hasn't lost. Remember 18 months ago, the argument was Calvert-Lewin can do it all except score. And then this season he started scoring, but he's brought the other side of his game. That's why I like him so much. Erwin Koeman says there, Diego Costa for 6 months. That one's proper split opinion. What do you think of that one?
I used to absolutely love Costa for Chelsea. He was my favourite striker, like outside of Everton. I just used to love watching him because he wound everyone up. He was a winner, brilliant goal scorer. But I don't think it'd do anyone any good for him to come and sit here for 6 months because he's known for being a bit of a sulker anyway. Apparently, he's absolutely finished. So what's the point in that? You might as well just have bloody Cenk Tosun on the bench if that's going to be the case, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like it would be better just go out and get a young striker that's going to be the future for us because we're not a we're not a retirement home. I know he's not an old player. We've been released from Atletico, and we spoke about this one on a live stream we did with Thomas, and we said that it's just about a no. It feels a bit like on the X Factor where they give them 2 yeses and like 2 no's and a yes, and it's a bit like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like I think it's just about ways in the. What does your head say and what does your heart say? It feels a bit like, if you were to go into a shop and you were to see, you'd see like a really good computer that's usually £1,000 and it's on sale for 500, and you were to go, I really need that computer, and you to go, but it's 500 quid, and it's even though it's half price, it's still like, what's the point? You know what I mean? It feels a bit like we've gone in like a kid in a sweet shop there and gone, Diego Costa, and the head really for me just says no, it's not a good option. Jake says Mikel Antonio. I like him as a player, but I don't know. He reminds me of Iwobi, to be honest, the way he plays. He can play in a couple of different positions. He's a strong player. What do you think of him?
Well, I don't think West Ham will probably want to let him go anyway. So he's all right. He's not bad. I've seen him in front of goal a few times, and he's not the best at 1-on-1. But
I think our recruitment process has sped up a lot since, has sped up a lot since we were signing players like Antonio.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of comments off on Twitter as well. There's a couple of people saying who is better than Tosun. We've got one here saying Velios is better than Tosun. What do you think of that one?
You're going a bit far there. Like.
You know what? Well, I want to know how many appearances. Johnny,
I remember the goal where I kicked in the Kike Jalovic. That was like one of the best assists I ever seen for Everton.
John, in the chat, if you can find out for us, how many appearances did Velios make and like how many goals did he score compared to Tosun? Because that's what I mean. I'm struggling to think of players that I compare Tosun to, and he's probably up there with, I'd compare him to Velios in terms of his goal scoring ability. Nias is better than Tosun. What do you think of that one?
No,
I think, do you know what? People will say
his heart was in the right place, Nias. He was, and I know he scored some odd goals here and there, but he weren't a very good footballer at all. To be honest,
I think could you see Nias scoring that goal that Tosun scored against Rotherham where he chipped the keeper? No, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Every goal Nias scored for Everton seemed like he scored it by accident, and that's.
I remember I remember he rolled on the floor once and it went in. I think it was.
To be honest, those two goals against Bournemouth. Remember, we were getting beat by Bournemouth and we came back and I think we won the game 3-2 and he scored both the goals off the bench.
That was his best moment in his Everton career. That, like, I'll give him that 100%. He won us that game. I'll give him that one. He won us that game. And it was funny that because Koeman said he went in his plans, the next one he relied on him to save him.
I remember it was so good to see the rivalry because most Evertonians had gone really cold on Koeman at that point, and a lot of them were just sort of getting behind Nias. So it was it was just there was a bit of a war going. It was a weird time to be an Everton supporter.
Yeah.
David Unsworth came in for the game, and then Sam Allardyce and Sammy Lee were there. So that season can just be it's a strange one. And Cenk Tosun, 58 games for Everton, 11 goals. Pretty poor, that, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not great. I know probably half of them are probably off the bench, but it's Velios, 24 goals. But for the
striker that we paid 20 odd, how much did we pay? 29 million for him, or 20 million?
I think it was like 20. I think
for the £20 million striker to be scoring 1 in 5 games, that's not good enough. That, and I know he probably came on for 5 minutes at the end of a game, but do you know what? Velios was a David Moyes time. It was like stuff you did when you were younger that you don't mention anymore. That's sort of what Velios sort of falls into that category, I think.
Velios was free and Tosun was 20 million, but that doesn't make Velios a better player. It doesn't matter how much they cost here and there. I just think I'd rather have Tosun, put it that way.
I love this comment here from Terry Nash. Leandro Rodriguez better than Tosun. I think he made one Everton appearance and it was against
it was in a cup off the bench, I think.
Dagenham and Redbridge. That was it. I remember I was sat in the Upper Gladys Street for that game. Dagenham and Redbridge, Leandro Rodriguez, another Martinez sign. Same season as Nias. Someone put something weird in Martinez's coffee that year because he was signing some strange players.
I remember Martinez came out and said he is straight away ready for the first team. So
and he never played. But if you want to include under-23s, Velios played 46 games for the under-23s and got 15 goals. I don't think Tosun's ever played for the under-23s though, so don't know if we want to include that. There's so many players from the forgettable Everton players. Yannick Bolasie will go in there as well, and obviously we did interview him, didn't we? Apostolos Velios. So go and look at that on YouTube in the interviews playlist on the Toffee Blues YouTube channel.
He's not watching now, listening to me saying Tosun's better than him.
Apostolos, if you're watching, you were brilliant, mate. You were best Everton striker ever. Yeah. Kone better than Tosun. You remember he got a bad injury. He was a goal scorer when he came in, wasn't he? I remember actually. I've got a good memory of Tosun. Kone, because when we signed him, I think I was about 12 when we signed him, and I just got Twitter, and one of my first tweets, I tweeted a Runa Kone to say welcome to Everton, and he retweeted it. So I've got just for that for me.
Scored a hat-trick against Sunderland.
Yeah, and the little sort of celebration he did. He's like he was falling over. He played quite a few games as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Someone shared a goal of Stephen Naismith against Chelsea that when he scored a hat trick against Chelsea, and he played in that game. And I was like, God, Kone played a game. And I couldn't believe it because it felt like he never played because he got a really bad injury, didn't he? Sandro from Sevilla, Jake. I'm sorry, Sandro was not better than Tosun. Sandro, oh my word.
Velios is better than Sandro.
Yeah. Velios is better than... If you rolled, like, the fact that Sandro, it wasn't just us either. We loaned Sandro out and he couldn't score for anyone. And I remember he scored that really, really good goal in pre-season. Remember that?
No.
I think we were playing Sevilla in pre-season. I remember it because it was the game we wore that. Remember, it was the 100 years of Goodison Park, and we had that commemorative kit. It was the only time we ever wore that kit, and he scored against Sevilla. Jermaine Beckford, Wormy Spoons. Yeah, Jermaine Beckford. I really like Jermaine Beckford.
Do you know what? I've got a soft spot for Jermaine Beckford. He came from League One and scored 10 goals in the Premier League, in his Premier League, first season for us, and he was a free transfer. I think he should have maybe given a little bit more time by Moyes did, but Moyes didn't like him. However, he did score possibly the best goal I've ever seen for Everton. I don't think he gets
yeah.
He ran from one end of the pitch to the other and chipped the keeper. I mean, what do you want?
I think you tweeted about that last week, didn't you? It was like, what's your favourite Everton goal? And you said no one mentioned it, but that one against Chelsea.
He got a slighter look when it bounced off him, but he's still done everything right.
He was a goal scorer at the end of the day, and he came from the Championship, and he played really well. And I think we've interviewed him on the channel as well. We've interviewed Jermaine.
He was actually in League One at the time when he come up, so he's jumped 2 divisions. I'm pretty certain, anyway.
Yeah, and we did. I'm pretty sure we did. I don't think I'm imagining that. Jermaine Beckford interview on the Toffee Blues channel. That's another one there. You can watch Velios and Jermaine Beckford. There's your. If you want Everton strikers, you can't get to the two more out strange strikers than that. Jermaine Beckford playing like a season for Everton. Really good player in the season he played, and then Apostolos Velios.
Scored in the derby as well, Beckford.
Yeah, scored away at Anfield. So immediately he goes, he goes up really up in my estimations. Another player we've done an interview with, obviously, go check it. And yeah, good fella. He comes across like a really nice guy as well. I've seen him talking about. He was talking about Diniar Bilyaletdinov. Yeah. I think it was on Talk Sport last week about we were playing Scunthorpe away in the FA Cup, and he moaned like mad because Scunthorpe's changing rooms were awful. So no, he seems like a really, really good guy. Jermaine Beckford, love to have him back on the channel one day. I'd love to interview him. I'm really jealous. I think it was James interviewed him. Really jealous.
Can I just say there really quickly? I think Diniar Bilyaletdinov, and people will disagree with me because somehow they think he's a great player or he was a good player, but I think he's got a bit of a cheek there because I don't even think he was good enough for Scunthorpe, in my opinion. I just didn't think he was a good player. He
scored a couple of really good free kicks, didn't he?
Yeah,
when we signed him, he was quite a big player for us, and I agree with you there.
I think he had a long range shot, and that was about it. In my opinion,
I think it was against Portsmouth, wasn't it? It was Wolves as well. He scored one against Wolves.
Overall, as a player, I didn't like watching him at all.
Wormy Spoons there coming out with some good and some good comments there. James Beattie, he's put what I can't remember. James Beattie, Joe, can you?
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, I signed him for about $6 million, I think, if I remember correctly. He was a bit of a miss, James Beattie. He weren't always on it, but he was all right. You'd expect more from him at the time, though, because we didn't really spend a lot of money. We were signing Kale for like $1 million and Ian for $2 million, and then we came out and spent $6 million for him. I know that sounds like nothing now, but we didn't have any money at the time.
with Everton back in the day. We were notorious for being skint back then. So yeah, but it was a pretty high profile signing, wasn't it, at the time?
He was all right. Nothing special, but he was all
Mary
right.
Spoons has followed up that comment with "unfortunately," which is good. Terry Nash there again. Naismith. I loved Naismith. Stephen Naismith's probably one of them. And a lot of people, I think it was, again, that's not on the stream, people giving Stephen Naismith stick. I thought we sold him a lot, pretty much too early. I really liked Naismith. What do you think of Naismith?
Yeah, it took, like, he's another player. It took a bit of time for him to get in, didn't it? But yeah, hard worker, and that's what a lot of Everton fans like, hard workers. And he was good with Lukaku. I thought, like the comment says there.
I thought he had a lot of ability.
Lukaku,
and another player who scored against Liverpool. So yeah, he immediately goes up in the estimations. I'm trying to think of some other players, strikers, because I think the Everton number 9 shirt, it'll go down as in history, won't it? We've had great strikers over the years, like Joe Royals, Graham Sharps, Dixie Dean, obviously, and then you've got some really strange ones. Yeah. We've got he was better than Stuart Barlow, Naismith, the Scottish Messi, top person, and a lovely bloke. Yeah, I agree with that. Did a lot of charity work while at Everton. Yeah. Really good. Would love to have him on the channel one day. That would be a great interview, Stevie Naismith. Yeah, I think I'd absolutely bite your hand off to just chat to Stephen Naismith, because scored a lot of important goals. He was a Martinez player. Like of all the Martinez players, he was a Martinez player.
I think Moyes, it was Moyes who signed him, but he played.
Never played him. Yeah, I think Moyes signed him in his last season, and never really played him. And then under Martinez, obviously, he had a couple of real big standout games. Scored a good goal against City, an equaliser at the Gladys Street. Hat-trick against Chelsea. A couple of big goals he scored. And yeah, guys, keep leaving your comments down in the chat. Obviously, really good to interact with them. I think some more strikers, because I think Calvert-Lewin will go down as a really good Everton striker no matter what now. Because I think he's got the ability and the potential to get even better, don't you think?
Yeah, I hope in 10 years' time he's still banging them in for us, and does what Harry Kane's doing for Tottenham and just stays at the club and starts getting better and better and scoring lots of goals. I really like Calvert-Lewin. He's a hard worker. And I really like the fact that he's overcome his doubters. I was a doubter. I will admit it right now. I'm not ashamed to admit it, because there was a lot of us. But I'm just made up. He's proved me wrong. And I love when I get proved wrong about players. But I just hope he continues to shine for us. Technical difficulties. Don't even know if I'm live here. John, if I'm live, can you put something on the screen?
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you, Steve, but I can't see you. Right, apparently I am live. Sorry about this, everyone. We're having a bit of technical difficulties. We'll try and get Stephen back in a second. Really sorry about that. I was really enjoying that as well, but hopefully he's coming back. It is buffering on the screen on the left. Hope you're all doing okay. Thanks so much for sending the comments in. You know, it's great to read them out and answer the questions. Just hopefully Stephen will come back in a second and we can carry on talking about strange strikers who play for Everton.
Can you hear me now, George?
Yeah, I'm on, mate. Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry about that, guys. Some technical issues. As I told you at the beginning of the stream, if you were here, it's my first time hosting it, as you can tell. Yeah, more random Everton players. I like this discussion. Victor Anachibi. Yeah, I like Victor. Big Vic scored a couple of really important goals for Everton. Very active on Instagram. Yeah.
I was just going to say, Moyes had full faith in Victor Anachibi. Sorry to interrupt you there, Stig. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No. He loves not Crosby. He loves Bold Street Coffee. Victor Anachibi. He's very vocal on Instagram, and yeah, Victor Anachibi will go down as a memorable Everton striker. I'd love to interview him again someday if Vic ever sees this. Yeah, come on, we'll speak to you. Would love to have a chat with him. Yeah, guys, get some more random players down in the chat. Preki, I can't remember. Jordan, can you remember Preki?
Who? Preki?
Predrag, what was his name? Predrag Radoslavich, something like that.
Strachwalazy?
Nah, what was his name? We all called him Preki. It was like a 90s player. It was before my time. I've only ever been told about him.
If I get his full name.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't know Victor was on the gram. Yeah, Victor Anachibi, look him up on here. Do you know what? Yeah, John's just put in the chat there, bang on with the name. I'm gonna have a look at him. I'm gonna see if I can pronounce his name. See if I can find him. His full name is Predrag Radoslavljevic, I think that's him. Predrag Preki Radoslavich.
What year is he playing for?
He played for Everton in between. His Wikipedia is just called Preki. I'm just loading his Wikipedia up now. I want to see when he played for Everton. He played for Everton between 1992 and 1994. He made 4 appearances. He scored 4 goals in 46 appearances for Everton.
Yeah, I started going the game just a bit after that, and I cannot remember him.
I wasn't born then, George. Don't worry. Radzinski, another one just before my time. Can you remember Radzinski, George?
Yeah, I always watch one of his goals on YouTube. It's brilliant. I think he scored 2, actually. We were getting beat by Southampton 1-0, and it was about 7 minutes left, or the 85th minute. Rooney was actually playing in the game as well, and I think he scored 2 to win the game, and it's great. It's great to watch on YouTube. Like, go back and watch it. He was all right, Radzinski. He had this bit like the player we were talking about before. He was, turned up when he wanted to. I can't remember, but he was James Beattie. A bit like him, really. Just showed up every now and again and scored a couple of important goals. But overall, he was all right. Pretty average.
Paddy Boylan from The Athletic has requested some talk about Mark Hottiger from the Everton squad from the 90s. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't want to say anything. I've not have a clue who he is. Unfortunately.
I remember Mark Hottiger.
I'll leave you with that one, Joe. Go on, elaborate on him a bit for us.
I'm pretty sure he was a centre-half. But, yeah. That's a pretty forgettable player, to be honest.
Unless I get me dad in to talk about him, then I'm afraid Mark Hottiger we can't really talk about. Another player we've interviewed, Thomas Radzinski. So, yeah, go and watch that one as well. We're giving you lots to watch here. Love Tommy Gravison. What was your opinion on Tommy Gravison, George?
It took him a bit of time to get into, playing well for us, but when he was on top of his game just before he left for Real Madrid, he was brilliant. I thought in that centre of the park, and I'm not even surprised Real Madrid came in for him because he was absolutely brilliant for us.
Yeah. So we got any more? Like Peter Odemwingie turns up when he wants. My memory of Peter Odemwingie, the former West Brom player, is in the car park. Was it West Brom and he wanted to go to QPR? It was, wasn't it? He wanted to sign for QPR. That's my only memory of I think Peter Odemwingie. Tony Hibbert was a legend. Yeah,
maybe that's what he means when he says he turns up when he wants.
Yeah, Tony Hibbert was a legend. Yeah, Tony, the infamous no goal right back, played for a long time. That'd be another. I'm not sure I don't think we've ever interviewed Tony Hibbert. That'd be a good one. Big Evertonian, really good loyal servant to the club. Would be great to speak to Tony Hibbert one day. Jelavic, you brought him up earlier in the stream, George. Nikica Jelavic, go on.
I love Jelavic, me. That first season when we signed him, or that 6 months,
he was brilliant.
Every time he touched the ball, I think it went in the net. He was boss.
As long as I live, I'll never forget his goal scoring route. And then he came back and he scored that great goal against Manchester City. And it was to end his goal scoring route, and every single Evertonian wanted him to do well. And when that goal went in, the roof just come off the stadium. So absolutely, brilliant. Jelavic, got great memories of him. Steven Pienaar was a great player on his day. Yeah, Jake. A lot of people put Steven Pienaar in their best Everton teams. People my age, brilliant player. Remember Tony Hibbert scored in a friendly or something? Yeah, he never scored a competitive goal for Everton. And he's remembered a lot for that, but very good defender, very good Everton player. The Yak. Go on, George. The Yak. Go on.
What a player.
Have you seen that? Have you seen the tweet of some guy, Amazon driver or something? Yeah, and he got a parcel and it just said Yakubu on the front and he couldn't believe it. And he opened the door and it was Yakubu. My first player I ever got on my Everton shirt, Yakubu, 22.
I was so surprised when we signed him, and then he just banged the goals in for us. I think he got 21 in one season, which isn't bad.
Yeah, brilliant player. Knew where the back of the net was. I remember, first player I ever, well, not my first Everton shirt, but the first player I had on my Everton shirt. I remember going to the Everton shop and I wanted Louis Sahar on the back of my Everton top and he didn't have any H's, so I had to get Yakubu instead.
Yeah.
So
can't forget that celebration that he always done.
Oh, brilliant! Some great. Just that team in general that got to the FA Cup final. I know he done his Achilles that season, but that all the players from that team, I remember them all, every single one of them.
I honestly think we would have won that final if we didn't have the injuries. I think Arteta was out, Jagielka was out, Yakubu. I honestly think we would have beat them.
I remember Lars Jakobsen came on in that game.
Yeah, I think he. He come on second half, didn't he? Or did he start? I can't quite remember now.
That was the peak of my. Yeah, that was the peak of my Everton supporting life. That watching Louis Sahar bang that goal in against Chelsea, and then it's all just been downhill from there. Joseph Yobo, good centre half for Everton. Jolien Lescott. Great player, Jolien. Has a good time at Everton. Remember, he scored a great goal against Aston Villa in the last minute, and then they went and equalised down the other end. Darren Gibson, Darren Gibson, pretty steady Everton player.
Darren Gibson for a bit. He was all right for a bit. He was like a fan favourite for quite a few months there. But
worst player people have got on the back of their Everton shirt. I can't wait to hear some of these. Everyone, leave them in the comments right now. Worst player you've ever got on the back of your Everton shirt? George, you got one? Worst player you've had on the back of your Everton shirt?
No, I've only ever had a few names on the back, Ferguson and Stewart and stuff, but no one bad, I don't think. I turned up with a lad who used to play footy and he used to wear the same Everton shirt every week, and he had Simon Davis on the back. So.
Yeah, I think I had Yakubu. It was my first one. Phil Neville. I've had Phil Neville on the back of my Everton shirt before. Yeah, Neville, and then I think I went with Bainesy every season. I think because I always, if I'm buying an Everton shirt, I usually do try and get a name on the back of it. Yeah, Bainesy pretty much every season. And this season was the first time in about 10 years that I've gone out and bought the shirt as soon as it come out because James Rodriguez signed. And I've got James on the back of my shirt this season. Worst player I've ever had on the back of my shirt was Andy van der Meijden. A real shame, that one. Yeah, I think Noble, you've started us off quite well there. Rodwell, number 26, Jack Rodwell. Yeah, not the best one.
I thought Rodwell was going to go on and be brilliant for us. Him and Dan Gosling were the youngsters in the squad, weren't they? I think they even... Yeah. I think they came on in the semi-final, was it? Against Man U. Like, I remember Man U bringing all the big guns on, like Carlos Tevez and stuff. I think. Was it Tevez? And we were bringing Jack Rodwell.
He scored that goal, didn't he? Yeah.
I think this was the 0-0 when we beat them in the semi.
Sorry, I know what you mean now. I thought you meant the season after where we beat them, and he scored that winner.
Oh no.
My guy Gay. Yeah, my guy Gay. He was a strange one, wasn't he? He had quite a long career in
the quarters. I remember him.
Oh yeah. The best.
And then the semi, he just didn't turn up. I wish we would have played that game.
The best limbs I've ever seen at a football match, Everton versus Sunderland, or Sunderland versus Everton in that FA Cup quarter-final. I had Rooney on the back of my top. Yeah.
Can't blame you for that one.
I think a lot of people that age had Rooney.
You know what? So did I when I was like 15 or something, or 14, when I think I got Rooney on the back, yeah.
I was only young, I can't remember Wayne Rooney. That FA Cup game, I was there, bloody 90 seconds in. I was bouncing around, my dad, we scored, and people still coming into the ground and sitting in the seats missed the goals. Yeah, that is epitome of Everton, that. Everton get to a cup final, and then you arrive and miss the only goal that Everton scored, and it was after 30 seconds. That's a pretty... That's the definition. There's been some unlucky stories I've heard about people supporting Everton, and to miss that goal, Louis Saha, was unbelievable. I remember, that was. I can remember that day so well. I remember waking up really early because it was when we used to do. It's gone now, but it stopped about 10 years ago. Probably the last one I can remember where they did the all-day coverage, and it was a massive thing. The FA Cup was still really big then, and people, you'd wake up on the day and it was coverage all day. The game had started about 3:00 or whatever, and it was always sunny on FA Cup final day. And that was, if we'd have won that, then that would have been amazing. Thought he was going to go big for us. Thought he was going to go on and be big for City. Turns out he went to be the shit state of Sunderland. Rodwell. Yeah, remember he didn't make a great name for himself in that. In that documentary, the Sunderland Till I Die one, did he?
Yeah, didn't he want him to do a mutual agreement to leave, and he was just nah.
And stayed. So Ashley Williams was the worst signing in the club. I think he did all right. Williams, he was all right for the first season, wasn't he? He scored a good goal at home against Arsenal and won us the game.
I was talking about this with my mate in work, Ty, the other day, when he scored against Arsenal, and he was just proper anger in his face from around.
He just ran around. It was just, you hear them stories about centre backs who don't know what to do when they score. He didn't do the stereotype any good there.
Just did he really? Let's be honest.
I would love to see an interview with Billy Kenny. Google the Mersey Mancini. Okay, I'll Google that one later. Is Billy Kenny the one who Billy Kelly the one who wrote Spirit of the Blues? The musician? I'm sure it is, because I was speaking to my granddad about that one, Billy Kenny. Sure he wrote Spirit of the Blues.
I thought it was that fella off Twitter, Finkit, who done it. But...
No, actually wrote the song.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I actually bought the single. When it came out a few months ago, and it was like a charity thing. That was good. That never listened to it. It's just like sort of a novelty thing. Anyone we've missed? Any more comments we missed? Who do you think the worst Everton signing of all time is? Go on, George.
You'd have to put the money in and everything. The money in. Now, this is where it does matter with the money and stuff, because you've got to put that into perspective, what they did for the club and stuff. I think, look, you'd have to say Klassen is probably up there, because we paid 25 mil for him and he hardly ever played. And I know we made 15 back, so we've lost 10 mil there, but that was a lot of money to spend on a player who.
Yeah, Klassen probably will be in the mix. Where's Stefan? I mean, Nias. You can't really look past Nias, can you?
Yeah, it probably is Nias, actually. I mean, yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. Who do you think, guys, in the... Ian Turner is a shout we have had on Twitter for name on the back of a shirt. That's a good one. Ian Turner. I can't believe somebody got Ian Turner on the back of that Everton shirt. That's unbelievable, that. Must have lost a bet or something. We had 3 goalkeepers at the club. We had Tim Howard, Carlo Nash, and Ian Turner. I guarantee you 99% of people who bought an Everton goalkeeper top either got no name on the back or they got Tim Howard on the back. I think there's probably one person out there who probably got Carlo Nash, and he probably knows Carlo Nash, right? Ian Turner, there's no excuse for that one. You must have lost a bet for that one.
The person who's tweeted that must be Ian Turner himself.
Yeah, he must be, and I've still got me thing framed up. Wormy Spoon says who. Back when, I think it was, they've stopped doing it now, reserves. It used to be like, there was a reserve team. Ian Turner was a reserve goalkeeper in about 2008-ish, something like that. I'm not sure he ever played for Everton, Ian Turner. I don't remember him. I just remember him being on the back of my programme every single time I went to match, because he was in the squad in my first season. I started really going the match, and he was always on the back of the programme. I think he wore number 12. If you could go back in time and put an Everton great in the present day team, who would it be? George, I'll give you that one. All right, no George. There he is.
Are we back on?
There we go. We've got him back now. Yeah, he's back now. He's back on his normal background and everything. Yeah, that's a brilliant background. That I'll have to try and replicate it.
Take about 12 years, mate.
Yeah. A question from Jake there: if you could go back in time and put an Everton great in the present day team, who would you put?
That's a good question. That.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Do you know what? I'd probably go Neville Southall in his prime. I'd love Neville Southall to be playing in goal for us. I think we'd be expecting top 4 every season if we had Neville Southall in goal.
I don't know if he's a great, because he's not like the 80s team, but Kanchelskis was class.
Yeah.
I think he'd be brilliant. After the winger.
Dixie Dean's a boss shout, isn't it? That's like saying who should Everton sign and saying Lionel Messi. That's like that's a good one there. Jordan's gone sideways. Put that one up. Jordan did go sideways for a moment there. Put it down in the chat there. Who would you have as an Everton great? Who you'd have back in the current Everton team? We're getting towards the end of the stream now. We'll have this the last question. If you could have anyone, Neville Southall there again. I think that's going to be one of the popular ones.
Especially with Pickford being like not everyone's favourite cup of tea, put it that way.
Yeah. If you could have an Everton great in the team. A couple more, I'd say probably I'd love to see a centre half like Derek Mountfield or Kevin Ratcliffe. I'd love to see him in this team. Even though, we centre backs are doing quite well at the moment. We've got, I'm trying to think of maybe a bit before it. I'd love to see Alan Ball play. I would have loved to see Alan Ball. I feel like if I was alive, then he would be my favourite player. So Alan Ball in the midfield right now definitely wouldn't have gone amiss. What do you think of DCL? Love TCL. See if we've got any more. Yeah, keep some more in the chat, guys. We'll keep going for another 5 minutes. See if anyone else has got any more Everton greats they want to be on there. Jake, no worries. Thanks for coming in and joining in with the stream, mate. Obviously, Jake's just started his own YouTube channel talking about films, same as Jordan. Obviously, go and watch his first video. He's going to come onto my personal channel as well. We're going to talk about Star Wars, I think, so that'll be cool. Lee Tai. God.
Yeah, Lee Tai. The sponsorship we had at the time.
Yeah. Swanky 2006. Sorry, mate, I missed your comment before about Theo Walcott. Yeah, Theo Walcott, good player for Everton. Obviously, still at the club. Technically, he's on loan. So, yeah. I'd have Barry from recently, and I don't know how to pronounce the name. Obviously, I know the second name there. I don't want to pronounce it, though. Yeah, Gareth Barry would have been a good player to have. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Thanks very much for watching the stream. Obviously, make sure you which Star Wars? Oh, we've got a question there from Wormy Spoons. Which Star Wars, Mandalorian or the Clone Wars? I mean, I haven't seen the Clone Wars, but Mandalorian's pretty good. Yeah, but make sure
Mandalorian last night. It was brilliant.
Yeah, have you seen season 2 yet? Because I know you just started season 2, didn't you?
Yeah, I just finished season 2 last night. Loved it.
Yeah, you're the same as me, George. You waited for all the episodes of season 2, and I just binged it. Yeah, don't want to spoil it.
I'm a bit late with my TV shows, but I'm usually up to date with the films. Like,
yeah, I think I'm the same. I don't really have the patience to sit through a TV series. But yeah, guys, thanks for all of your questions. It was really good. My first time hosting one of these live streams, first time collabing with Jordan on the channel as well. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you're an Evertonian, why not just subscribe to the channel? It's completely free. You get updated with great Everton content, and as we mentioned before, lots of player interviews on the channel. So it's good to go and get a grasp of what some Everton players from time gone by have thought of their time at Everton. So watch Jordan's movie channel. Jordan is Movie Worm on YouTube. Go and yeah, Jordan, I'll let you answer Wormy Spoons with that one.
What was that?
What's Jordan's movie channel?
It's called Movie Worm. If you type it in, it should be like one of the first. It's the only channel called Movie Worm. It's like a little cartoon worm as the icon. I think it might be in the description, but I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. John's just replied in the chat there. Toffee Blues, Movie Worm. Just at 700 subscribers as well. I haven't had a chance to congratulate you properly on that, Jordan. Congratulations, mate. 700 subscribers, doing really well. And that's obviously why he's got the absolutely fantastic background there behind him, which I'm very, very jealous of. But yeah, thanks very much for watching the live stream, guys. Lots of comments coming in. I'm getting sidetracked. Obviously, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Stay tuned for more. Stay tuned. Subscribe for more Everton content. Like the video, share it with your friends, follow us on Twitter. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.